Hello everyone, this is Charlie from HotTipCentral.com, and this is my last Android experiment video. So it's my last video for a lot of reasons. I can't really go into the huge details as to why this is the last time I'm going to be presenting a video on this Motorola Atrix. Let's just say, to sum everything up, my life took a turn in the busy direction, a very busy direction, and I wasn't able to stay on top of videos. I just didn't have any time for it. I think I've used this device long enough, 24 days actually I made, so it wasn't quite 30. 24 days I have with this device, and I think I've used it long enough to understand how it works. I've used it long enough to get the basics of what Android is all about, and I think I've used it definitely well enough to get an accurate depiction of what is so different about this device as opposed to my iPhone. All hope is not lost though. I plan on doing this again when I have more time and when I can actually dedicate time to it. Look for this to happen sometime in early 2012 because I'll have more time then. Certainly by the spring I'll have more time then. And I'll be able to do it in a much better presentation value, much like the first weekend video that I had. If you haven't seen that, you can go ahead and click the link up here right now. That will kind of give you a preview of the kind of quality that I'm looking to do this on, rather than just this webcam thing. I don't think this is the best way to present it. As far as changes to my experience in the last 2 weeks, it hasn't really fluctuated all that much at all. I found the device to be pretty consistent in the way it felt. And that isn't necessarily a good thing, but it's not a bad thing at all. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I would say it's different. But it was constant in that difference. I ended up going back to the stock keyboard. None of the keyboards really were doing it for me anymore. And I ended up actually, after I'd tried other keyboards, I realized that I'm having a better experience on the stock keyboard even. So props to Motorola. They actually won me over with the stock after I tried the alternatives. I feel that the multitasking that's taking place with Android is one of the main reasons why this battery dies so fast. I want to close the apps. I want these apps to just be closed in the background, and I can't stop them without a task killer. And that sucks. I don't want to have to manage them. It's one of the great things I like about this iPhone is that they stay in the multitasking bar, but they're not doing anything. They're not taking up any processing power. They're just sitting there on standby doing absolutely nothing. I mean, besides like all their little background functions, like for instance, Facebook's still going to give you notifications. Maps will still track your location. Pandora will still play music. But their graphical interfaces and all of the other elements of the apps that take up all this processing power are just kicking back and relaxing. They're not taking up the battery life. To where on the Android, they're running. They're doing their thing. They're taking up their power that they normally take when they're in the foreground. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Because at the end of the day, when I'm done with work, I went and worked at 9 o'clock and get out at 5. At the end of the day, this will be dead. And even though this didn't have Flash in its browser, and it didn't have a cool little video background, and it didn't have all these little effects that you can apply in Android to customize it the way it fits your needs, it's got half my battery life left. There's the difference. Now I know some phones have great batteries, so when you're going to shop for a phone, make sure it has a great battery. And I don't mean talk to the salesman and say, hey, how's the battery in this? Is it good? Because they're going to probably tell you, yeah, sure. Or maybe they'll suggest another Android phone that has a better battery, in which case that's awesome. But you're not going to know anything until you try it. Take it home. You have 14 days or 30 days or however long they give you. Take it home. Try it in your area. Does it last? Use the hell out of it. And then once you're done using the hell out of it, realize that once you get it set up, you're not going to use it quite as much as that. So use it in your normal everyday life. Use it how you would normally use a phone to fit your lifestyle. And if the battery sucks and you have to charge it before the end of the day, take it back and get another phone. Get one that works. Get one that has a good battery. There isn't much point in the additional functions and customizations of your device if it's dead. I guess I'll end the video with some advice on how to look at things. If you're an iPhone user right now and you are considering switching to Android, or you're considering just kind of throwing yourself into it kind of like I did, There are some things you need to be aware of, and there are some things that you need to know before you go into this so that you can get the best experience possible with Android. First off, these two devices are going to give you completely different experiences. I figured just having a different OS wouldn't really change how I interacted with the device, but it does. It changes everything. There is an entirely different level of simplicity with these two devices, and there's an entirely different level of usability with these two devices. Now, I don't mean that you're able to use it. I'm talking about the ease of use, which goes with simplicity, but not entirely. You can have more complicated functions and still keep it usable. And in a lot of situations, this Motorola did that for me. In a lot of situations, the Android did it. It created a different way of doing things, and it did it okay. I will say that you need to go into this with an open mind. You'll need to go into this knowing that you are going to have some things that you don't like as much, and you're going to have a few things that you do like more. The only way you're going to be able to know what's best for you is to go and try it. Don't listen to other people. Don't listen to your bias. Don't listen to closed-mindedness. Go out and try it. Just give it a shot for yourself. And when you're giving it a shot, be excited about it. Don't try to put some kind of preconceived notion of what it's going to be like into your head. This is just me making a video. You're going to experience something completely different than I am. Go into it excited. Just go, yeah, I get to try something new. This is exciting. Woohoo. Do it. You might like what you see. You might not. But even if you don't like it, you now know why you like what you like. And I now know why I appreciate my iPhone the way I do. I value simplicity, but it's not just simplicity. It's the fact that there are sophisticated functions taking place without me needing to be sophisticated in order to do them. And that's not saying that the device is for people who aren't smart enough to use Android. That's not what we're saying at all. It's just as fast to learn how to use this phone as it is to learn this phone. The only things that are different is how you have to learn them, is how you have to do things with them. That's the real difference. And when it comes down to it in the very end, one of these devices does something in an intuitive way that makes it easy for the end user, and the other device sets the framework for someone to do something themselves. I don't want to spend hours a day setting up a phone. I want to just use a phone. So be prepared to rely heavily on third-party applications to fill basic functions. To fill the things that you would like your phone to do, be prepared to go dive into the Android market and search to your heart's content to find apps that can do what you want it to do. And be prepared to navigate for a while to find them too, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to find things on the Android market. Be prepared to deal with potential security risks of malware. It's growing at a huge rate. You might need protection from it, you might not. But it's there, and it's a risk. So be prepared to deal with it. Be prepared to have social networks integrated directly into the phone and be able to share content from app to app pretty much seamlessly and effortlessly. It makes life a little easier on that sense, but also, after you've used it for 10, 12 days, a month maybe, really analyze whether or not that integration is worth giving up the simplicity in other areas that shouldn't have been messed with. Another thing to look out for if you're an iPhone user who's trying to go to Android is that you're going to be using your phone a lot more. And I say that not in the sense that you're going to be doing more on it or being more productive with it, but you're going to be using it a lot more to set it up. You're going to be doing a lot more to customize it the way you want it to be. And I feel the issue here is that you get something the way you like it to be, but then you look and you find something else and you go, oh, I want that instead, and you go get that, and then you want that instead and you go get that. Oh, this one sucks, I want this one instead, so you keep swapping. And at the end of the day, you end up spending most of your time on your phone setting up your phone. I mean, it's not just setting up to where it works. That's not setup. Setup is having it be the way you want it to be. And it takes so much time out of my life to set this up to where I liked it. And in the end, look what I ended up with. A simple lock screen, just like Motorola came with. And I can't show you my home screen, but if I did, you would find it's basically stock. I went and I customized the hell out of the thing, and I just never liked it. There was glitches in how things worked. It would slow down the phone because it's like a desktop over top of a desktop. It's not efficient. That's why I like this device. It doesn't have flash. Big deal. I've already discussed I don't really see Flash as a huge option. I've had 24 days with Flash in my browser, and I don't really get any value out of it at all. Doesn't matter to me at all. Don't worry about specs. Commercials are going to blast you with speed, speed, speed. We're faster, we're faster, we're faster. It doesn't matter who's faster. It doesn't matter about speed. Network speed? Absolutely. Go for it. That probably matters to a lot of people. I know it does. Matters to me. But specs on the device doesn't really matter. Think about how fast you have to be to run those things you like to do. Is it going to help you at all? I mean, unless you're a person that plays a ton of games on their phone and you're actually buying the phone because you can play games all the time, but to perform all of the functions that you're going to be spending 90% of your time doing, that speed isn't going to matter at all. The only thing that extra speed is going to do is drain your battery. So don't let salespeople and commercials fool you. It's not just about speed. It's about what you want to do. I mean, it truly is about what you want to do with your phone and how you want to use it, and how well the device meshes in with that lifestyle, and how easily and how effectively the device allows you to do those things. Notice there are a few things I did like, and I've already expressed this in past videos, even though they were 2 weeks ago. There are a few things I like that this does more than what this does. But after this experiment, I would have to say that obtaining those things that I liked about Android over the iPhone isn't enough to pull me away from the other platform. But that's it. That's really all I have to say. I will pick this back up and do, I guess, Android Experiment 2.0, I guess, with a better device and more time to dedicate to actually doing it. And maybe I'll even throw in a little extra money into the pool and say that, you know, I'll pay somebody to borrow their phone for a little while. If I can get a better phone out of it and I can give other people a better judgment on it, then sure, why not? Anyway, guys, I'm Charlie from HotTipCentral.com, and I'll see you next time.